AM, KLVL, Pasadena, Houston, and 95.3 FM, K237GSQ, Pasadena.
Hey, lovebirds. Welcome to your Love Empowerment Hour with Sitting With The Suttons, where we are all about making marriage great again. We are your hosts, Tristen and CC, and we want to thank you, our listeners and our Facebook Live viewers, for joining us tonight.
Indeed.
You are now
Sitting with the Suttons.
We want to invite you to please like, share, and follow our Facebook and Instagram page at Tristen and CC and help us to spread the good news about making marriage great again. And if you're joining us tonight, we ask that you'll please share the video, because tonight we are going to be doing our part in making Houston strong again and making marriages great again, most importantly. This is a very special edition. This is our first time back since Hurricane Harvey came through our city. A lot of us were impacted, and to you, for those who were impacted, we say to you that our prayers, our sincerest thoughts are with you during this difficult time. We are here to offer you as many resources as we can. If you want to visit our personal pages at CC Sutton and Tristen Sutton, we just want to extend a hand wherever we can to help you get back to your norm. But we are praying for you and your families, and we thank you for joining us tonight as we help make you stronger again.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So tonight's segment, we're just going to hop right on into it. Just like Hurricane Harvey kind of snuck up on us, storms in our marriage can sneak up on us too. And, just like with meteorologists, fortunately, they can tell us when storms are coming, like they told us. Sometimes. Now, they did tell us this time, hey, y'all, get it together. Hurricanes Harvey's coming through.
They were accurate this time.
They were accurate.
And we were rebuilt from Ike and them.
Yeah, I do remember that. Now, they're not God, so they can't tell us, exactly what's going to happen. But they did a pretty good job, and I would like to actually take a moment to commend them for, and our mayor,
yes,
Mayor Sylvester Turner, for doing their absolute best to take care of us and make sure we were prepared for this storm. The truth of the matter is there are a lot of storms that we face, especially in our marriage. Financial storms, infertility storms, in-law storms, children's storms, jobs, infidelity, so many different storms that are brewing, to be honest.
And all different levels. So you can have category 5, category 1. It could be downgraded to a tropical storm.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it could be a tornado, things
and
like that.
It can come at any point in your marriage. Day 1 or day 5,009. It can come at any point in time. But there is some good news, T.
Tell them about the good news. See.
The good news is, just like meteorologists can forecast when something's coming, we can do the very same thing in our marriage.
Yes, we can.
We are many meteorologists as well.
Absolutely.
There are some ways to tell if that storm is brewing in the Gulf Coast for your marriage.
So there's an app for that.
Well, now, we need to work on an app for that. How would y'all like that if we created an app that told you that, hey, your storm is about to come in your marriage?
Making marriage great again forecasting app.
Yeah, that's kind of hot. I'm going to put you on that. That's Tristen Sutton's homework assignment. He's going to work on that. Yeah, you got till end of year. But here are just a few signs to tell when a storm is about to approach your marriage. First one, you haven't spoken your spouse's love language.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we talk about that love language all the time.
We do.
If you don't know what your love language is, or your spouse's love language, we want you to go to 5lovelanguages.com, take that 5 love language test so you can know what your love language is and what your spouse's love language is.
Don't give them a quick Rosetta Stone.
Well, Tristen's, there's 5 different love languages: acts of service, touch, quality time, affirmation, and I believe gifts.
Absolutely.
And Tristen's love language is actually touch. So when he's feeling some type of way about his day, I crack them knuckles.
Whoa.
And I get on their back. Ain't that what I do? You better tell the people that's what I do.
She does relax the back. She does relax the back.
Yeah, his love language is touch. So,
but that could be a good forecast of if you know that your spouse, like let's say for instance, my wife's is touch, and typically if I go and reach out, rub her back, caress her arm, and she normally responds in a positive way, an affectionate way, all of a sudden she's shrugging her shoulder like, get off me, don't touch me. That's an indicator that a storm might be brewing in the Gulf of Mexico.
That's right.
We need to.
You better run for the border.
We might need to get that storm kit together.
That's real. That's real. And so it's important that you know these love languages so you can speak it even when times are good. It's not for you to just pull out that card whenever there's a storm and you're trying to get back in good grace. You want to constantly be pouring into that emotional bank. So when that storm does come, it's a little bit easier to get through it.
Absolutely.
Is that fair?
That's very fair.
So the second one here, this is another way you can know that a storm is near. You haven't been truthful.
Tell me lies, make them sound good. At least make them sound good.
At least make them sound good. Some of y'all not even making them sound good. But all relationships are built on trust. And if you have broken that trust, get ready, because that storm is definitely brewing.
Oh, it's already percolated. It's already floated on land, knocked over a house or two.
That is real. The third one is communication is just lacking altogether.
Right.
Communication is fundamental. I mean, without it, what are we doing?
It rules a nation. You know, people go to wars for lack of communication or too much communication. So making sure that you have that constant flow, because communication is that bridge that gets you over those troubled waters and keeps you on safety, on safe ground. If you have good, authentic, and a transparent communication.
Just remember, if you close the door to communication, you are leaving the door actually wide open for that storm to come through.
Oh, indeed. The floods will come.
That's it. Fourth here, you're not praying together. Now, a lot of couples, you know, I don't know how they do it. They survive without God somehow. But I'm telling you, if you are not sitting down and praying with your spouse,
yes,
you're missing out on a whole lot of coverage that needs to happen. God is constantly trying to cover us in our marriages. And if we don't invite him in to do so, he's a gentleman. He's not going to force his way in.
The Bible says where two or more are gathered.
Right.
So it wasn't meant for you to just pray on your own. You're supposed to pray with your spouse. Right. And that way you have, once again, that reaffirms those open lines of communication.
Yes.
And then you said something else on the way on the car over here, that it opens you up to know what's on your spouse's heart.
Absolutely. Some things are not communicated throughout the day. But I know that when Tristen and I have prayer time together, you know, I hear him say some stuff that I'd be like, God, I didn't even know that was on his heart. Okay, let me cover him on that. I got feelings
too. I know I'm a beast. I'm a savage, but I got things on my heart.
He does. He does. And honestly, that is so important for us to be able to share that time together so we can cover each other, so we can cover our families, our marriage, everything. Now, if you're praying apart, there's nothing wrong with that. There will be times where you will have separate prayer time, but it is so crucial, especially during this time that we're in.
Absolutely.
It's very important that you come together and have prayer together.
It's the easiest way to stay on one accord.
That's it.
Because you know what each other's needs are. You know what each other's concerns are. And then that way you can also lend a helping hand.
That's it. And then lastly here, the last way to know that a storm is brewing and that it's near your marriage is if you have an island marriage.
On Gilligan's Isle.
Now, you know, you might be cool on that island by yourself and all as well. But as we said, it's not a matter of if a storm comes. It's a matter of when.
It's only a matter of when.
And if you are isolating yourselves from other married couples who may possibly be able to help you through those storms, remember, the time to build relationships is not during a crisis.
Not at all.
It's during the times when things are fine. It is. It is. It's very too late because what ends up happening is that people now know, oh, what she want now? She only calling me because she going through something in a marriage. Exactly. So surround yourself with other like-minded couples. Really take the time to build your tribe because there will be a time you might have to pull on that tribe in your marriage.
And what this also does not mean is tell everybody your business. You don't got to tell all the friends of your fave five in your phone that's what's going on at home. This is some trusted individuals and confidants.
Yes.
We have some couples that confide in us, and we do the same because you want people that are on a like mind, like path, and equally yoked as you are to be able to give you that guidance so you don't have to go spend $200 at counseling an hour.
That's real. That's real. If you are so fortunate to find another couple or another person who has the wisdom to lead you through it and you ain't got to break them out five, I mean, hey,
yeah,
take advantage.
Exactly.
So statistics show that there are 3 primary storms that end marriages. And inevitably, if you are married, your marriage will possibly face one of these storms. The first one, can you guess what the first one is, T?
Tell me about that. Is it got something to do with making it rain?
It does. In ones.
See how I tied that in?
Right. You did that. You did do that. Come on, tropical storm with all the different. Yes. The first one is finances.
Yes.
Obviously. You know, when things are going well and you and Boo out there at the Galleria doing y'all thing, you know.
Making it rain in sacks. You know
ain't nobody complaining. Ain't nobody fussing.
Yeah,
ain't no communication problems.
It's all good.
But the minute
that credit card bill come in.
What? and you just spent it all on
Who is
foolishness.
APR? Why we owe them so much? Why are you taking so much?
Now you're mad. You're ready to return everything back to the store. But finances are the number one storm that marriages face. The second one is intimacy, sex.
Motion in the ocean.
Motion in the ocean. We were talking about this on the way here, and I said, T, you know what? I wonder why when marriages first start off, y'all going at it too, bunny rabbits, just getting it.
Bust it.
Okay.
No, wrong station. Wrong station.
But then you look up 5-10 years later, and it's a dry and barren land, and you just struggling to.
Winter is coming.
What? For all you Game of Throners, it's real. Marriages go through that. So finance is number one, sex number two, and then the last one,
raising babies,
raising children. And now, see, we start off saying, "Oh yeah, we want to have 2 children, and we want to live here, and we want to do this, and we got all these big plans." But then them bad boys come out, and we ain't got no plan on how we're gonna raise them.
That and once again, we're not calling anybody children storm.
No, not at all.
or
Raising the children.
But what happens is you get married, you're accustomed to 2 individuals, and now you have a new individual that takes priority for most marriages. Right. And so now that storm of disruption comes in because your patterns are thrown off. Right. Now you have to take care of someone else. You got to make sure they're fed, nursery, daycare, all that good stuff. So
and how you're going to raise them
and raise them and adjust. Yeah.
All of that. I mean, we take for granted and thinking, oh, we'll just know, but. If you were raised one way and I was raised the other, or to whips, you get whippings, I don't. I mean,
that ride was not spared. It was not.
These are storms that come up inevitably, and statistics are showing that they're ending our marriages. So when we come back from this commercial break, we're going to talk about the 5 tips that will help you through not only these 3 storms, but every storm that you face in your marriage.
Indeed.
So stick around. We will be right back. Like, share, and follow at Tristen and CC.
Houston strong.
Houston strong.
In the past year, KYND became one of the fastest growing radio stations in the country. Well, we've outgrown our old home, and we're ready to take it to the next level.
We are now Synergy Radio.
More power.
All day, all night.
Wait, what?
Synergy Radio 1480, powered 24/7.
Can I tell you how excited we are?
We are powerful talk that inspires change.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do.
With transformational coaches ready to help you get to the next level.
You will find some things that speak to your soul.
Synergy Radio 1480 will continue to bring you all the voices you know and love.
Gotta have you here on the Yolanda Adams Morning Show.
This is Rashawn McDonald.
Welcome to the journey with Tiffany Smith.
Hello, my name is Les Brown.
I'm Paris Ely.
We're your hosts, Tristen and CC.
This is Oscar Hines.
Hey, it's Zakia Larry Live.
This is Nicole R. Coleman.
Hey, and I'm Tasha Evans.
This is the reality check, Dr. D. Yvonne Young.
Welcome back to the show. I'd like to shout out our live studio audience once again.
Tune in every day, 1480 a.m.
Are you ready for talk that inspires change?
Tune in to Synergy Radio 1480 in your car, in your house, or on any mobile device at synergyradionetwork.com.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
From New.
Talk that inspires change.
Hey, lovebirds. Welcome back to your Love Empowerment Hour with Sitting with the Suttons, where we are all about
Making marriage great again.
We're your hosts, CC and Tristen, and tonight we're talking about how to get through the storms in your marriage.
I didn't say walk, I didn't say run, I said wade in the water.
Y'all, I love my baby. So before we left, we talked about how to know when these different storms are getting ready to brew and hit your marriage. So now we want to share with you just 5 simple tips that will help you in getting through these storm times.
Indeed.
Storm-proofing your marriage.
Storm-proofing your marriage. That's what we're going to roll with. That's what we had on the document. So tip number 1, What happens whenever they get ready to announce a hurricane here in Houston? What's the first thing people do? They
Run to Walmart.
Run to Walmart or Academy, and they stock up on their storm kit, right? They buy up all the bread, all the water, all the flashlights. I just want to know what they do with it now that they ain't used it. But so have your storm kit ready is tip number one. Mm-hmm. So meaning you're going to prepare for the storms that you know are inevitable to happen in life. So part one of that is take premarital counseling together before you get married. That way you can already have an understanding of each other's mindset, that counseling is going to open you up to what each other's expectations and anticipations are in the marriage, or what they're going to want to get out of the marriage.
And if you're not married yet, don't be that part of the spouse that says, well, I already know what it takes to make a marriage work. I have friends who have said that. She need to go to counseling. I already know what to do.
Well, that's none of my homeboys' side. I don't know who you hanging out with.
But you got to do it together. The whole purpose of taking marriage counseling is so you can get on one accord together.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How many did we take?
Oh, we took 3 different ones, all 3 of them. We're not even Catholic, and we went to a Catholic marriage retreat. That was a very interesting experience.
It did not because of the Catholicism, but because these mosquitoes. We were at some little resort outside.
Yeah, some little wooded area, and it was literally like Lord of the Flies, but with mosquitoes. So then you got agreed to that divorce is never, ever an option. It's kind of like you got to look at what the mayor said. You can't evacuate.
That's good.
Because it's not safe out there.
That's it.
It's not safe out there. Girl, I know what I'm doing. So don't evacuate just because a storm is there. You got to hunker down and rely on that supply kit and know that this too shall pass. And lean on each other and help each other out through that storm.
That is it. Do not flee.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Then write down Bible verses for you to go to together. So have different ones that you can just automatically go to when you're having a tough time. Like lean out on your own understanding.
Come on.
That women should be submissive. Something like that.
Yeah. I like
it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible.
You're right. Or husbands, love your wife as Christ has loved the church. I mean, all these, the Bible is chock full of different verses that will help you through those tough times. Please take the time to do that.
Yes, indeed. And adapt them. And the ones that are fitting for you in your situation, recite them together daily.
Yeah.
Till you get through that storm.
That's it.
Have a safe code like pineapples or out of love to initiate tough conversations. That way you can go to each other and you can have that decompression mode. So, hey, if I'm coming into you and I'm saying out of love, that means I'm probably going to say some stuff that isn't going to make you happy. But you got to listen. You can't clap back. You can't reclaim your time. You just got to listen. Let me get it off my chest, and we can have a respectable Christian conversation.
That's
about
it,
the situation.
y'all. This little pass safe code thing is tried and true. We've been doing it for 10 years. We have friends that we've referred to do it. They say it works so perfectly.
It didn't work last Sunday.
Well, now. No, it did. Y'all. Okay, so one thing, so let's keep it real. So let me explain to you real quickly what out of love means. Out of love is an opportunity for you to prepare your spouse that you're getting ready to say something that they may not be able to eat without you putting out of love on top of it, okay? Mm-hmm. So what it means is when you say out of love, that means that person cannot clap back, get upset, act irate, do tit for tat, okay?
Exactly.
Now, what out of love does not mean, do not think that just because you say out of love and you say something that person is going to be like, okay, great, moving on with life, let's go.
Indeed.
We're loving each other.
Like
it does not work like that. That person may still be in their feelings for a little bit, but in their feelings, they are not to clap back, and that's what I didn't do last Sunday, right? Y'all, the Suttons, we
had a moment
as we were brunching, we had a little moment. And we can keep it real with y'all.
Yeah.
You know, he tried to use out of love, and then he expected me to come back and be juices and berries and strawberries, and it didn't work out that way.
Normally the snapback is real, but it wasn't that day.
No, it wasn't, because you hurt my feelings. But that's okay.
It's all right.
We got past that. And again, out of love really helps to get you through those storms.
It does.
A lot easier.
It does. When you snap back happily. Quickly.
Now back to you. See how you do?
So be prepared for the worst, but always work towards the best. So that's not saying you're always going to have a negative attitude or a mentality that, oh, this marriage is hard or difficult, but just know that things aren't always going to go your way. There's 2 different individuals that combined together. So you're always going to have some type of disagreement or misunderstanding, friction, things like that. Understand that that's going to happen, and they're not going to do it always the way you want them to do it, and vice versa. So as long as you can accept that and have a way to work within that, there will constantly be a way for you to find peace in the eye of that storm. Right. And life happens. So, for instance, there was one point in time we were both laid off. So that storm kit,
at the same dang time.
both getting them unemployment checks.
It's real.
So, but God saw us through because part of our storm kit was a financial safety net.
Right.
We had over 6 months of our household bills together. So if we go back to one of the number one reasons that people divorce is finances.
That's it.
So if we were over there unemployed, unhappy, ego hurt, and couldn't pay mortgage and car note, and et cetera, it could have really got bad. But we had that peace because we had that storm kit ready and we had our Harvey snacks on deck.
That's real. That is absolutely right. So number one, have your storm kit ready. Number two, know that storms are not always going to be there. You know, I was telling T, what would have happened if year one we decided to bounce because we had a storm? We wouldn't be sitting right here in front of you telling you, hey, you're going to be all right. You're going to make it.
You'd be like the people that were out there in Ike 8 hours trying to get down the street to Austin.
You're right. It was going to be tough. It really was. But you have to just go ahead and accept, number one, storms are going to come. And number two, storms are going to go.
Yes, indeed.
It's not going to always be perfect, but it's not always going to be horrible either. And actually, I've learned that storms really can make your marriage even stronger.
Yes, indeed.
Now, those have been some tough lessons, but I find that the toughest lessons, the toughest storms that we've been through have actually catapulted our marriage.
Because let's take it to, let's say, if your house gets hit by a storm, you'll notice that you could find some of the weaknesses in there.
Right.
And then you can reinforce those and build those up and make them stronger.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. The other thing in that is don't take the storm personal. Like every marriage goes through it. Just quit sitting there on Gilligan's Island thinking that y'all the only ones going through something, because you're not. And just because you go through a storm doesn't mean that you did something wrong.
Right.
When Hurricane Harvey came through, we didn't do anything to make Hurricane Harvey. Well, we might have contributed. Global warming is real. But anyway, just like storms in life come, everything is not always in your control. And some things you're just going to have to say, you know what? This was out of my control, but I know that God has given us the grace to get through it.
Don't run. You end up out there looking like Issa.
Oh, Lord, my Issa.
Out there looking like Issa.
Team Issa. Team Issa. If you are not watching Insecure right now, we got to do a quick plug. You got to watch Insecure. It is so, so good. And
really good TV.
It's talking about some of these things that we're talking about right now. Also, remember that your storm can also be your story. So the things that we are sharing with you on this radio show about the storms that we've been through, that's what it's all about. Helping other married couples get through it. This is not about showing a perfect marriage, because don't nobody care about that.
We ain't got one. But it's perfect for us.
But it's perfect for us.
And remember that your test is your testimony.
That's it.
That's how you can bless others.
It. So when you and your spouse are up there going through it, just remind each other, hey, this is not just for us. I'm sure we're going to have to be able to minister to another couple and help them do the same thing.
Indeed. Indeed.
So the third point here is have a storm crew. You need a crew.
Get you a Cajun Navy in your life.
Come on. Hashtag Cajun Navy. And shout out to Cajun Navy. We want to thank you on behalf of Houston for coming through. For those of you all who are from Louisiana, let Cajun Navy know that we love them and we appreciate them for their efforts. But they were our storm crew. They got us through. You need your storm crew as well. And your storm crew needs to consist of trusted people. People who can offer wisdom, not just words.
They're not out there trying to loot while you're in the midst of your storm.
Come on.
Ooh, yeah. You catch that on the way home.
That's good.
Take your assets and your valuables while you're out there struggling or while you're away. So you want people that you can trust, people that you can depend on, that you can confide in and can help you out.
Yes. You know, Tristen and I have done very well. We pretty much get through all these arguments and storms and stuff together. But there was a one time here recently where
I said pineapples.
We had to call on our storm crew, y'all, because we thought, okay, we can get through this. And day 3, we looked at each other, and I still felt the same way I felt about it. And he still felt the same way he felt about it. And I know part of him as a man and his ego was like, we don't need nobody else coming up in here, and telling us what we need to do. We know what we need to do. But honestly, there are times in your marriage where you may truly be at odds and at a crossroad. And unless somebody steps in, that could be the demise of your marriage. So do not be afraid. Do not be too prideful to allow someone to come in and give you advice. And I know that when we did step out and invite someone in, I was so grateful that we did, because he was able to explain to you what I was trying to say, and vice versa. And then he was able to present a solution that we honestly really had not even considered.
Absolutely.
And just like that, it was done.
It's kind of like a marital Rosetta Stone. She was saying it, and I couldn't really I couldn't process it, but he put it in a different viewpoint because he was unbiased.
He was.
And vice versa. She heard where I was coming from as well. And so we both looked at each other, was like, man, you was tripping. I was tripping too. Let's go home.
Y'all, we are not here to fake the funk with you. You know, it can be very difficult, some of these storms. They really, really can. But if you're willing to communicate and your spouse is willing to communicate and you're willing to listen and your spouse is willing to listen, I don't see why you can't get through any of the storms that you go through in your marriage.
So get you that Cajun Navy.
That's the third point. What's the fourth?
All right, that fourth one is create your weather as best as you can. So this is kind of a, pun on what's been going on with social media. People talking about men are making these storms. So
right,
right,
man-made
whatever you want to call it. So,
yeah.
So create your own weather as best you can. So yes, storms will come. However, if you know your actions or your inaction are the perfect weather pattern for a storm, then make some changes.
What does that mean?
So that means if I'm leaving all my shoes downstairs, I forget to take the trash out, things like that. And I know that that's your anger point. That's going to push your button. I need to control my weather and take control of things I know that are going to alienate my spouse and make sure that I can keep that nice Houston breeze, that crisp, cool air that we love when it's not hot.
That's right. That's right.
Home.
That's good.
So factors that can affect your storm are your attitude. Mm-hmm. They say your attitude determines your latitude, your mindset, and your communication style. So one of my things is I don't like anybody talking to me loud, out of anger. Talk to me like a human being, like a man.
My bad.
Yeah, it'll take all that.
That's what I used to do, y'all. I've been saved, I've been delivered and healed. Yeah. But that's real.
Yeah.
That's real. You have to. That's a way that you can control the weather, your temperament, your mindset, your communication style. Because
you start talking with them hands, it's going to be El Nino 2.0 again.
That is so real. So, and we laugh and we make light of this, but honestly, you really have to discipline yourself in this area. If you quick to get an attitude with your husband, or if he's quick to get sarcastic, like you literally have to stop yourself.
Indeed. And before you get into an argument, realize even if you win, you still lost. Because nobody wins when the family feuds. Shout out to Sean. So there's no benefit of it. Yes, you may have gotten your point across and you made them feel bad or let them know that you were right and you were wrong. But at the end of the day, to what avail?
To what avail? Create the best weather that you can.
Indeed.
How we doing on time? Good, producers? All right. Well, we got 1 minute here. So those are our first four. And when we come back from this commercial break, we're going to share with you the fifth tip that we have. But again, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. This is a special night where we are standing in the gap and making Houston strong as well as making marriages strong. Mm-hmm. And we thank you for joining us tonight. Please like, share, and follow Tristen and CC on Facebook. And we'll be right back.
You're listening to Synergy Radio Network. We'll be back after these messages.
In the past year, KYND became one of the fastest growing radio stations in the country. Well, we've outgrown our old home, and we're ready to take it to the next level.
We are now Synergy Radio.
More power.
All day, all night.
Wait, what?
Synergy Radio 1480, powered 24/7.
Can I tell you how excited we are?
We are powerful talk that inspires change.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do.
With transformational coaches ready to help you get to the next level.
You will find some things that speak to your soul.
Synergy Radio 1480 will continue to bring you all the voices you know and love.
Got to have you here on the Yolanda Adams Morning Show.
This is Rashawn McDonald.
Welcome to the journey with Tiffany Smith.
Hello, my name is Les Brown. I'm Paris Ely.
We're your hosts, Tristen and CC.
This is Oscar Hines.
Hey, it's Zakia Larry Live.
This is Nicole R. Coleman.
Hey, and I'm Tasha Evans.
This is the reality check, Dr. D. Yvonne Young.
Welcome back to the show. I'd like to shout out our live studio audience once again.
Tune in every day, 1480 a.m.
Are you ready for talk that inspires change?
Tune in to Synergy Radio 1480 in your car, in your house, or on any mobile device at synergyradionetwork.com.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
We are powerful talk that inspires change all day, all night.
Hey, lovebirds. Welcome back to your Love Empowerment Hour with Sitting with the Suttons, where we are all about making marriage great again. We're your hosts, CC and Tristen, and tonight we're talking about how to get through the storms in your marriage. We just experienced a pretty big storm here in Houston. Hopefully you were prepared to get through that one. We just want to give you the tools to help you get through the ones that your marriage will face as well.
Indeed.
Before we go any further into this hour, though, let's show some love to our Facebook Live viewers. We appreciate you for tuning in.
Yes,
We're
indeed.
grateful.
Yes, indeed. We got Miss Chandra Everson. She says she's not married, but she's taking notes. Appreciate the love, Miss Chandra.
Hey, Miss Chandra.
What's going on, Ronnie Ron D. Daniel? Thank you for showing love for the subject. We will be making another follow-up show about this one as well. We got some of our regulars, Jetty and Brandy.
Hey, Jetty. Hey, Brandy.
We got Tiffany Taylor Hicks. She says she hates sarcasm. It burns her griddle.
Me too.
You got to put some Pam on that so that griddle won't burn. Got Mr. Will Norwood on here.
Hey, Will.
Monica, Karen Amos, Johnny Alfred. They about to be newlyweds soon.
Yes.
So shout out to them.
Amber
Shout out to
and
them.
Johnny.
Miss Jotina, book.
Much love to Jotina. It's good to see you, sis.
Danielle Bess, Ronnie Leggington, Jermika. She says her parents just celebrated their 39th anniversary. Let's give a round of
Congratulations.
applause.
That's
Congratulations for 39 years of looking at the same person saying pineapples.
Something else. Congratulations,
Yes,
Jamaica,
indeed.
and to
Yes,
your
indeed.
parents.
Connie
as well.
Bodacious, Sean Lee, Alicia Dene. I think she's out in Mexico right now.
We want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. And we ask that you will please do us the kind favor of sharing this video. You just never know who is scrolling up and down your timeline and needs to hear such a message as this. You know, I say this all the time, but social media, it's a beautiful thing, but at the same time, it can be smoke and mirrors. You know, I know of couples who, you know, you go down the timeline, it looks like marriage and bliss and happiness. And then I get a phone call and divorce papers have been served. Let's just keep it real. So just never assume that all is well in everyone's marriage to where they don't need to hear the good news about this thing.
And you shouldn't want to base your marriage on the image or the perception of someone else's as well. I mean, let's keep it real. It is social media, meaning it is a facade. So
sometimes it's real. We don't want to make it sound like it's not real.
Right.
But a lot of times.
I mean, sometimes it can be.
Yes, sometimes it can be. But I've heard statistics of a lot of it, 90% of it.
But once again, it's media, so it's not real life.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
But whether it's real life or media, don't base your marriage on someone else's situation because you never know.
That's right. And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, T, because there are people who are literally like having a hard time, a struggle, saying, well, you know, well, such and such got this going on because they're looking at social media.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to pull away from social media because what you think is going on is not always the case.
Such and such always buy his wife a new bag and some red bottoms.
What?
Such and such's credit card's probably maxed out.
Let's keep it real. It's not to say that everything that you see is not real, but you have to be very careful about the energy that you allow to come through social media. Let's talk about it from that standpoint.
And then, so Ron Daniel said, how do y'all make it work throughout the years of being with your significant other? Great question, Ronnie. I'll answer for me. We keep joy and happiness in the midst of it all, and we just keep it real. So many of y'all have already heard this, but when we were dating, I told her, look, I'm not playing any games with you. I like you. I enjoy your company. That doesn't mean I'm thirsty. So this is what I'm about. This is what I'm not about. So we just, kept it real, and then we keep the laughter there. But more importantly, we keep it God-centered and focused on biblical principles.
We do. We really, really do. And, you know, I would say the other factor to that is, I tell T all the time, sometimes I feel like we're just two college kids living in a dorm room. Like, I say that often, don't I? Because, we cut up so much and we do so much around the house. But it's sometimes at the same time, though, we can be like almost like brothers and sisters, and we need to be separated sometimes,
Yes,
too.
indeed.
And so that's how we also keep things on a good note. Because like sometimes I'd be like, okay, I know I need to go twirl.
Yeah,
We call it
sometimes
dancing, but
sometimes I send her to her room so she can get out my hair. She be all in my follicle.
but real talk, you do need that time apart. We talked about that about 2 weeks ago, how time apart, self-care, taking care of me, having your me-cation.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I do need a me-cation. Matter of fact, I need you to go somewhere so I can get some me time.
So whenever little CC goes off and does something, Tristen takes that as his time to, enjoy himself as well. But just to answer your question, Ronnie, it is trying to achieve what we call a balance. Now, balance is different to everybody.
Absolutely.
But it's really important that you take that time together and apart in order to really make this thing work.
Get you a me-cation.
Me-cation.
Yeah.
Hashtag
you got hashtag me-cation. You got to take a vacation together, but sometimes you need that alone time so you can recharge your batteries and get back whole. Because I've seen this a lot lately. You can't pour into someone else when your cup is empty.
That is real.
Yeah. So
good
whatever
question.
it is you like to do. So good question. And we got the governor of Pearland, Christopher White.
Come on, Governor.
You never know what other people are doing in those marriages to get those things. So you never know. You never know.
Not know.
It could be
very
good.
careful.
It could be bad. They might be cooking every day, doing what they need to do in the bedroom every day, and that may be their rewards. You never know.
Y'all, Tristen is over here throwing a little shade and hints, but that's okay. That's okay. That's real. That's real. Every marriage requires something, and it's good to reward each other. It's good to enjoy each other's company. It's good to take the time to treat each other by all means.
Indeed.
But if you're on the other side and you are looking for contentment in your marriage, do not go to social media.
Don't do it. Please don't do it.
It's real. So tonight we have been talking about how to get through the storms in your marriage. The first one was have your storm kit ready. The second was know that the storm won't always be there. The third one, have a storm crew. Fourthly, create your weather as best as you can. And lastly, go through storm survival training. Okay. What that means is periodically you should be preparing for your marriage to face tough times. And we talked about on the front end of that, going to premarital counseling, because during premarital counseling, that counselor is there and they're asking questions that you probably never even considered.
Absolutely. Like, for instance, how many kids do y'all want? When do you want to have kids?
When?
Yeah.
A lot of us don't talk about when. We just say, we want to have kids. And then after y'all jump the broom, he ready to have them, but she's not.
Absolutely. And another thing about children is what we've been told from several counselors, it's always a good idea to let that foundation get settled in first before you interject a new variable in your equation.
That's good.
Because keep in mind, those first couple of years, you're still getting to know each other and how this whole marriage thing works. So you automatically throw another variable in there that disrupts your pattern. It's a blessing, but it can disrupt your pattern. Then that foundation really doesn't get that strong, flat level. It can be a little crooked. It can be a little off. So everything you build on top of that may not always be that sturdy. So that's one thing that we were taught in marriage counseling is maybe consider waiting a couple of years if you can before you interject that new variable.
Absolutely. It's very, very important that you take that time to get to know one another. I don't even care if some of us are living together. You still need that time to really bond and meld and gel that thing together before you add in, like Tristen says, another variable to the equation. Some things that we do to prepare for the tough times, we should periodically check in with one another and we ask, hey, are you still happy?
Yeah.
Why do we do that, T?
Because I need to do a temperature check, or if we're going to tie it into the weather, I need to go see what's going on developing in the Gulf right now before I get blindsided and Hurricane CC coming knocking everything out.
Little CC.
Yeah, little CC. She turned into a Cat 4 on me.
That's real.
So, I want to make sure that you're happy, make sure that there's something I'm not doing or I'm assuming everything is okay, but I could be subconsciously do something that's really irking you. And that can cause strife or, strong winds to come in between us.
Right. Sometimes we have to open each other up. I may not be so quick to go to him and tell him, hey, you get on my nerves. But when he comes and say, hey, are you still happy? That is a chance to be very forthcoming, be very honest with your spouse when they ask you that. Well, really, I would appreciate if you did this a little bit more or if you wouldn't do that as much. Take that time.
Like when she asks, am I happy? I tell her, I would like for you to leave the toilet seat up for me sometimes, That would be convenient for me in my life. Don't you agree, RJ?
Yeah. RJ can't even look at you straight right now. This boy
I
right
mean,
here.
I thought marriage was equal opportunity, right? 50-50.
Nah, not over Champ. Something else we do, we have regular date nights, and we talk about this. You know, you have to keep some form of fun or what's the good word of just.
You know, you got to do what you did to keep her.
There it is. There it is.
Do what you did to get her to keep her.
That's it.
And vice versa.
And you dated each other. You had fun. So, you know, if you have children, I know some of y'all like, yeah, but we got kids. We ain't going to be able to do it. Hey, get creative.
Mm-hmm.
When the bad boys go to bed at night, pop some popcorn, sit up, watch your favorite show. Just do something to keep that energy, that good energy there. Don't talk about the cheering. Don't talk about work. Now's the time for you two to just talk about you two the way you used to.
You know, you don't always have to always be expensive money. If you got a nice little patio, go outside, bottle of wine, and just have a conversation about how the day went. But don't talk about work, kids, or anything negative. Just do what you used to do when you dated each other.
That's it.
Y'all remember those days.
That's it. Just remember that the more time you spend together, the more you get to know one another and build that trust. And really, like Tristen says, it's all about making those emotional deposits into that bank when things are going well.
Absolutely. Because there's going to be withdrawals. And you want to make sure you don't have any overdraft fees.
Come on. You better. Hey, it's real. The more you put into that bank, the more you have for that rainy day or when that storm comes and little Hurricane CC comes through.
Hurricane.
He's so silly. Well, we are getting ready to go to our commercial break. And when we come back, we want you to stick around because we have some Suttons in the City things going on.
And a few more weather patterns we're going to talk about.
Oh, and a few more weather patterns. Come on.
Yeah, that's what we
Houston Strong tonight. Like, share, and follow Tristen and CC on Facebook. We'll be right back.
In the past year, KYND became one of the fastest growing radio stations in the country. Well, we've outgrown our old home, and we're ready to take it to the next level.
We are now Synergy Radio.
More power.
All day, all night.
Wait, what?
Synergy Radio 1480, powered 24/7.
Can I tell you how excited we are?
We are powerful talk that inspires change.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do.
With transformational coaches ready to help you get to the next level.
You will find some things that speak to your soul.
Synergy Radio 1480 will continue to bring you all the voices you know and love.
Got to have you here on the Yolanda Adams Morning Show.
This is Rashawn McDonald.
Welcome to the journey with Tiffany Smith.
Hello, my name is Les Brown. I'm Paris Ely.
We're your hosts, Tristen and CC.
This is Oscar Hines.
Hey, it's Zakia Larry Live.
This is Nicole R. Coleman.
Hey, and I'm Tasha Evans.
This is the reality check, Dr. D. Yvonne Young.
Welcome back to the show. I'd like to shout out our live studio audience once again.
Tune in every day, 1480 a.m.
Are you ready for talk that inspires change?
Tune in to Synergy Radio 1480 in your car, in your house, or on any mobile device at synergyradionetwork.com.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You all the voices you know and love. Are you ready for talk that inspires change?
Hey, lovebirds. Welcome back to your Love Empowerment Hour with Sitting with the Suttons, where we are all about
making marriage great again.
And we're your hosts, Tristen and CC, and we want to thank you for joining us in the conversation tonight about getting prepared for the storms that your marriage will face. Not
Indeed.
if,
but when.
but when.
Mm-hmm. Because they stay in the Gulf.
Yeah,
of
they
Mexico.
do. Now, we just had a few last-minute pointers here we wanted to share with you. T, go ahead and pop those off.
So a couple of weather patterns you have to be aware of in your marriage is conflict and blame. When these two rise up, you never know what kind of damage they could do to your union. So conflict, too little or too much. If you're constantly arguing, even small things lead to big arguments. If the same issues keep coming back up over and over again, these are obviously danger signals that have to be addressed. You got to nip it in the bud. But this doesn't mean that an apparent lack of conflict is always a good sign. If the two of you are afraid to have conflict and say something that they may not like, or just, share your feelings about something and sweep things under the rug, this doesn't always bode well because it builds resentment. It's like that crock pot we talked about. It ferments and things like that. Mm-hmm. A healthy relationship is one where you can squarely deal with conflict and find ways to resolve it. Yeah. The second one is the pattern to be conscious of is blame. Always trying to blame the other person for why something's going wrong. Right. It can be one person repeatedly criticizing each other or the other, giving the message that you can't do anything right, including the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you clean up, the way you leave the toilet seat down. I mean, goodness gracious. It can also be a blame game where each of you points the finger at each other. Or you just have you have to have the sense of, of course, of blaming each other that it's just not always right, to make sure that you're pointing out someone else's wrong fault. So be sure to control that blame and control that conflict, and don't be afraid to share with one another.
Right. That's good. Too much of anything is not good.
Indeed.
We had a good question over there.
Indeed. So Christopher White from Pearland again. How should people adapt to their spouses changing after they get married? People grow. So how would you recommend adapting to your spouse's growth, even if it's in an area you don't agree with?
Here's the deal. I say this all the time. Women go into marriage hoping men will change. Men go into marriage hoping women will never change. And the exact opposite happens all the time. The man don't change, the woman does change. Mm-hmm. So just know that when you go into a marriage, you're pretty much getting the person you're going to get. But know that we are constantly evolving as humans, constantly.
Especially women.
And especially women, because if you think about it, a woman goes through many different titles and phases in the life cycle of a marriage. Mm-hmm. First, she's a wife. Yep. Then she becomes a mother. I mean, it's just forever evolving for her. And her mindset, her temperament, her everything is evolving with that. So that's not to say that this person can just go from 0 to 100 and you have to accept that. But what it is to say is that we need to sit down and communicate. Yeah. How does it make you feel when I'm having these changes? I'll give you a good example of that. When I wanted to go natural, T was like, we ain't gonna be able to.
I wasn't for the juices and berries.
See, but he at the time that I went natural, there weren't too many people going natural, so the natural examples that he had saw were not.
So you're a natural trailblazer.
He didn't care much for those transitions that he was seeing, so he thought that my transition was going to be the same way. And I had to sit down and talk to him because the true sister in me wanted to be like, hold up, Negro, this is my hair. If I want to shave this bad boy bald, I'm gonna do it. But you can't do that. So I had to sit down. RJ said, ooh. So I had to sit down and I had to explain to you, look, this is why this is important to me. And I encourage you, if you have a spouse that's going through a change right now, sit down and ask them, why is this important to you? Why is this happening? Yeah. Because sometimes what you think may be the reason is not always the reason.
Absolutely.
And it gives that person the opportunity to explain. Now, if there's something genuinely that person is doing that can compromise your relationship, this change that they're making. Like, for example, she want to go kick it with her girlfriends every night at the club.
No.
Yeah.
No mas.
We're going to have to go ahead and shut that down. Yeah. So there are going to be some things that you may not agree with. But T, how was it for you when I went through the changes that I was going through? I went through a lot of changes.
You did.
Not bad changes, but I mean,
like, who did I
wasn't always a blogger, a speaker, dancing and modeling. So I wasn't always doing all that.
So you want to talk about the transition from Tristan's wife to Simply CC?
That's fair. We had to take that one step at a time because, see, what Tristan was used to, I was always there. I was at home. Whatever he needed, I was there for him. And one day he was very honest and he just said, it's hard sharing you.
Yeah.
I don't really like it.
I'm my only child, so I'm not used to sharing.
He's a man, period, and men don't like to share their wives. That's just really bottom line to that. But honestly, what it took for me to say is, T, I'm your wife, but I still have a purpose outside of just being your wife. There's still a calling on my life, and he understood. Indeed. See, you got to go biblical with him, ladies.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to get back to the.
That's where the communication comes in because you say it's a calling. You have something that you're trying to bless others with versus
right.
I just want to be out here willy-nilly, so that's not what we signed up for.
Right. But I hope that answers your question, Chris. You really have to sit down and get an understanding of why these changes are occurring, and then help that person to understand how it's affecting you. Okay. Right. And you have to be careful to take self out of it too, because remember, we're selfish creatures, and you liked her just the way she was with her straight, long, pretty hair. Well, this is not about always what you like. And now, lo and behold, Tristen actually absolutely loves this little puff sitting on top of my head. He never thought he would, but he does. So really give your spouse a chance to show and prove that, this change that they're making is for the better, even though it doesn't feel like it right now.
Indeed. And be supportive of your spouse.
And be supportive. Because they may find out too, I don't like this no more. Yeah. I'm going back to
then
straight
you can get that Peruvian yaki back in your life. That just for me.
Right here. Man, this has been some really, really good dialogue. We ask that you will please share this video. There is someone else out there that needs to hear the good news about marriage as well. We are coming up on the end of our hour. Let's just tell them what's going on.
What we want someone to do is, for Suttons in the City, recommend a brunch spot for us this weekend.
Hey.
So on Facebook, if you have a locally owned business that you would like for us to visit and support, type that in the Facebook comments so we can go out and show some love and patronize local businesses. Because, as a Hurricane Harvey got a lot of people off track financially, and we want to make sure that we are recycling dollars in our community. So tag someone in here so we can check them out, and we can see if we can go support them. So Suttons in the City is going to be recommended by you, our Facebook fans. So be sure to type that in there. So y'all see how we did that?
Can we show some quick love to V-Spa Massage?
Yes, indeed.
And also to Dig Deep Fitness for our Hurricane Harvey relief giveaways. V-Spa Massage, owned by Victor Roberts. He was very kind to donate a couple's 1-hour massage, and our lucky winners were Tara Stidham as well as her husband. And what I want to say on that is that, we're all about making marriage great again, and so we thought this would be a great opportunity for us to just give another couple an opportunity to break away from all the things that have been going on this week and spend some time bonding with a 1-hour massage. So Tara and Reginald, we hope you enjoy that. We also want to give a shout out to Dig Deep Fitness, Joy Diggs, our personal trainer, who's helping us gain our sexy back. Come on, sexy.
Y'all see how I can fit this medium shirt now? I appreciate you, Joy.
Making Houston strong.
Yeah.
But we want to thank her for also doing a giveaway as well. And we'll still need to announce the winner of that. I did still see a few names coming in on that, but we'll be announcing the winner this week as well. So thank you all both for your contributions in making Houston and marriages strong again.
Amen, amen. What you got going on this weekend?
Baby.
You stay busy.
I'm trying to think what I have going on. Nothing really. I'm a chill. I'm not going to cut up too much. I was, however, I was at Melodrama Boutique today, ladies. Be on the lookout on Instagram and Facebook for Jackie Adams' new collection over at Melodrama Boutique. Y'all, fall is upon us. And my girl Jackie got some nice pieces coming in for you. So we just shot those new pieces today, and I'll be posting them tomorrow. So get excited.
Indeed. Well, I got a little fashion update. I got my shirt delivered by Taylor by Tiffany.
Yeah.
So she makes men's custom dress clothes. I put her Facebook page in the comments on Facebook. So if you're looking looking for a custom-made dress shirt, suits, things like that, be sure to support Taylor by Tiffany.
Yes. As you know, Suttons, we are all about supporting our own, supporting great businesses in the community. So if there are some businesses that you also recommend that we highlight and feature on the show, please let us know. We want to call attention to those in our business community that are doing great things and also giving back as well.
Indeed. Because we all about the people.
That's it.
Indeed.
Houston strong.
Yes, indeed.
Whew, have we talked about it all tonight, T?
I think we got it all. Everybody got the questions answered. Thank y'all for tuning in on Facebook as well as the Synergy Radio Network.
Yes.
Be sure to share this. As you know that we want to spread the word of making marriage great again. So the easiest way and free way is for you all to share this video on your timelines. So just click share. Your friends will see it and they'll be blessed by it.
Amen. Well, as you know, we never like to leave this hour before we do our affirmation. It is our Making Marriage Great Again affirmation. We believe that we speak the words of life, and so it's important that we speak those words over our situation, whether we are single or married or in transition right now. So please raise your right hand and repeat after us.
Today, I will commit to being a better person than I was yesterday.
Today, I will be open and honest with myself.
Today, I will be a better communicator.
Today, I will rid myself of negative views of dating and marriage. Today, I will do my part in making marriage great again. Again, we want to thank you for tuning into Sitting with the Suttons, where we're all about making marriage great again. Tristen and I are just, again, praying for those families who were impacted by Hurricane Harvey as well as Hurricane Irma. There's a lot going on, but what I love about all of this is seeing how we come together so well. Mm-hmm. And so I encourage you to continue to share your time, your resources, whatever you can if you were not impacted by the storm. I know that families out here could definitely use it. And please continue to share all these great resources that are out here. Share it on your social media platforms. People are watching, listening, and they are acting. Again, we thank you for listening to us this hour. And we just hope and wish the best for you this week.
And one last thing, if you know of people that need help, resources, volunteers, type that in the Facebook comments. That way people can come back here for a resource. So it's not just about our show, but we want to give back to the community as well. So if you know people that need supplies, donations, volunteers, all that, type that in here below as well.
Yeah. Thanks again. Have a great night.
The views and opinions expressed on KLVL 1480 talk programs are those of the host, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of this station, its owners, management, other hosts, or advertisers. Show topics on this station may include conversations on any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practices. KLVL, a synergy